grandson and granddaughter. I served in the Marine Corps from 72 to 76. Thank you for inviting me.
I was in the Marine Corps. My daughter Monroe, Mrs. Major's favorite brother-in-law, and I also went here, but the only familiar face is Mrs. Cole. That was a long time ago. All right, thank you for doing that.
I'm Rich Gordon. I'm here to be with our granddaughter, Elena Gordon. I was in service from 1971 to 1973, stationed in Germany. And my job was to take people to processing out of Vietnam back to Frankfurt so they could process back to the States. So thank you for having me. Appreciate it. My wife, Nancy. She's been with me for a long time. 46 years.
My name's David LaRue. I was in the Marine Corps from 93 to 97, and I got invited here by my son. Mylon, where you at? Love you, buddy. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Rich Berholtz. I was in the Army from 68 through 71. And I'm here with my grandson, Austin Miller.
Good morning. My name is Chris Schwang. I'm Jordan Levin's dad. I did 6 years in the Army National Guard as a military police, and then I've been in the Air National Guard for 3.5 years as a firefighter. My wife, Michelle.
Did we miss anybody? Any other veterans?
I don't know why you do this to us. I was in the U.S. Army for 3 years, from 68 to 71, and that's 3. And this is the second year, third year, I think, I've been able to play here for you guys. It's a real privilege, and we thank you for the opportunity.
I was in the Marine Corps from 1950 to 1955, 1957. I have 2 great-grandchildren here, Harry Reed and Andy Sprague.
Hi, my name is Steve Hoover. I was in the Army 1980 to 1983, military police. My first assignment was over in Italy, which was a neat experience. And then New Mexico, that military police training helped me to get a police job right here in Ashland. I was here for 33 years and retired 5 years ago. And for me, it's a privilege to do that performance on behalf of this event. So thank you so much.
Thank you all for being here today. As a tribute, Mr. Kaler, we have a song that our choir, their first ever performance as a group. Welcome home.
Wow, outstanding job. Thank you all. You may be seated. Thank you. Now a selection from the Kroc Center Band, America the Beautiful.
So when we do an assembly like this, it's always good for us to meet our veterans that have ties to Taft, and also have a speaker that can join us and share their experiences. This year we've chosen an old friend of mine. He first went into the Army in 1979, when Mr. McDonald was just your age. I think that hurt. Yeah, he'll get me back. So Mr. Carroll went into the Army in 1979 and achieved the rank of Command Sergeant Major in all of his tours of duty. He has served in Operation Desert Storm, Operation Iraqi Freedom, among other deployments, and won several important honors for his service, including the Bronze Star and many others that he's probably too humble to want me to mention now. He's probably most proud of his family. His wife, Karen, have been married 33 years. And 3 children who have also served in the military service and service to our country. And presently, Mr. Carroll is a hospital administrator here in town, Samaritan Hospital, and helps keep us safe and healthy here in Ashland City Schools. So, would you please welcome Command Sergeant Major Steve Carroll.
Well, good morning. Yeah, I can't tell you what an honor it is to be here. Thank you, Steve, Mr. McDonald, and as I look around the room, so many friends that I know here. Mr. Paramore, thank you. Mr. Mara, Tracy, nice to see you, and so many other folks. I want to first say just thanks to the teachers, to all of you that have the lives of these young people really in our hands in terms of forming their attitudes, their beliefs, their values, and what's most important in life. And you're doing the right things here, and what a wonderful ceremony today. Also want to say thanks to, I think it's still Majors Billy and Sylvia wife Annalise Francis in the back, and the Salvation Army Band. Wow, I mean, how can your emotions not get stirred when you hear the rendition of the national anthem and American the Beautiful? It just gets me every time. So, outstanding job. And Pledge of Allegiance, young lady. You did a great job. You got a career doing something like that, right? And our choir, man, I've never heard Welcome Home done like that before. Very, very thoughtful, great selection, and beautiful voices. So thank you, everyone, for what you've done today and for asking me to be here. I think this is the second or third time I've come back. As Mr. McDonald said, I served for a long time. I could probably stand up here for as long as my memory would allow me to talk about all the things I've done in the military. And some of you would probably like to hear me talk about a lot of really cool stuff, right? Like helicopters, setting up hospitals, and bombers, and all that. But I'm not going to I don't want to talk about myself. I want to talk about the veterans and how important it is for all of you to remember and to continue to honor our veterans. Know what a veteran is. Know why it's important to do that. Know a little bit about Veterans Day. And over here to my left and to my right, thank you, comrades. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you today, and thanks for what you've done. I know some of you sitting over there, and you notice how they each had a bit of a different story. You know, different branches of the service, some active duty, some guard, some Army Reserve. We even had some support staff here that we always rely on our folks that do those positions, because we can't go fight and fly airplanes and sail ships without all the people that stand behind us to be able to do that, including our families. So those of you here today that are family members that have stood by your loved one, perhaps have lost a loved one, perhaps seen a loved one become severely disabled or injured, God bless all of you, and thank you for what you've done, because if it wasn't for my wife, Karen, and my children and my family standing behind me, I wouldn't be standing here today. So it takes all of us to get this done. So, what do you all want me to talk about today? News. No, I don't want to talk about news. Okay, we're going to talk about all that. didn't hear any of it, so we're gonna talk about all of it. How's that sound? Okay? So what's Veterans Day? How did that name become? Where did it start? I mean, you know, what's Veterans Day? Oh, couldn't have said it better. Outstanding. How about you, man? What's Veterans Day? That concludes my speech. All right. So I'm going to take it a step further, since you are such the historian here and an outstanding job. So what was Veterans Day originally called? Well, what was it before it became Veterans Day? It was called, starts with an A. Armistice Day, right? Ceasing of combat operations, where Germany said, you know, no more. And it was November 11th, 1918, right? And then in 1954, President Eisenhower, on the act of Congress, made it Veterans Day. I think, from what I've read, just because there was a feeling that, you know, by the time we went, you know, 30 or 40 years longer, we were sort of not forgetting about World War I, but it didn't have as much impact. So there was an interest in really recognizing all the service, so it became Veterans Day. So what is a veteran? Well, it's somebody that's served in the military, and right now the definition of a veteran is pretty broad. It's not just someone who fought in a war. It's not just someone who served 20 or more years. Really, it's anyone who served meets some definition of a veteran status. What's the one thing that you all can do that makes every veteran proud and always makes them feel good? Even though, go ahead. Yep. Saying thank you, right? Thank you and welcome home. It never wears old on me. I've been retired for 5 years now, and I don't feel the Army like I used to. You know, I used to live it every day for almost 39 years. Even as an Army Reserve soldier, I was very, very busy. By the time I retired, the last 10 years of my career especially, I was traveling just about every week. I had responsibility for about 2,000 soldiers in 7 states. I was part of a brigade command team. And the Army was just kind of who I was. It's what I did. And then I retired, and it's been 5 years. So sometimes I don't think about the Army every day like I used to. But it's so wonderful when someone comes up to me, regardless of their age, knows that I've served, and just says, thank you for your service. So don't ever think that that doesn't mean a lot. You can't say that enough. And I would venture to say that everyone up here would agree with that. And over here, am I right? Thank you for your service. Always means something. So, let's talk about what a veteran is. You know, there's a lot of words that can describe a veteran. What are some of the words that come to mind when you think about a veteran? Someone who served in the military, okay. How about you? Yep. Okay, someone that's helped someone, okay. How about you, young man? Someone who's given us our freedom. Say one more. Someone that's brave. Okay. Yeah. Someone who's brave. Someone who's courageous. Someone who's honest. Someone who's trustworthy. Have you heard those words before? Yeah. Where?
From my dad.
At home. Here in school. Right? So what I'm here to tell you is those are the most important qualities. Because see, regardless of the branch of service that you're in, regardless of what you did, whether you're a fighting soldier, a pilot, a medic like I was, an administrative assistant, a commander, there's certain qualities that you have that you can never give up on, that you can never waver from. And even if you don't become a veteran or join the military, in life, here at school, at home, when you've got to get out in your communities, you have to be what? Trustworthy, honest. How about caring and kind? You know, as I got up in ranks in the military, one of the things I realized is, you know, I couldn't be this hard-nosed bad guy that just yelled at everybody. Oh yeah, I had the rank, I had the stripes, and sometimes I had to get a little bit irritated. But I found that I got a lot further with kindness and understanding and listening to my soldiers, paying attention to their needs, not so much my own, being willing to take time and sacrifice time for them and their needs, and not so much my own. That's what shaped my leadership. In fact, I saw a lot of leaders who behaved that way, and I said, I want to be like that person. And one thing about leadership, as you grow into a leader, you see what good leadership looks like, and you see what not so good leadership looks like, right? So it's real simple. You want to be a good leader, you grab a hold of those qualities that you see in that leader that you want to become, and you do what? You emulate them, right? You mimic them, and you adopt those qualities. So I tried to do that, but listening, paying attention, being caring. And I always thought when I was a young soldier, I just had to turn out to be this really nasty bad guy to get anything done. Okay? But that doesn't get you far in life. In the military, as a veteran, or here in school as a student. So I'm going to end with a couple of things. So I belong to the Association of the United States Army, AUSA, and every month I get this great magazine. So this keeps me in touch with the Army. So I get to read stories. I like this one. It says, today's combat medics prepare for tomorrow. Combat medics. What do you think medics do? Go ahead, anybody. Yeah. They heal people, right? Just like they do here in the hospital. At UH, you heal people. Okay? But also in this article, they talked about 5 tips to ensure success. 5 tips to ensure success. Okay? Number 1, be real. It is important to be genuine with your friends, your family, your teachers, right? Be real. Is that hard to do? No. So that's 1 tip. If you can do that, you're on your way to success. Let's talk about number 2. Be present. What does that mean, be present? You're there, right? You're in the moment, right? You're engaged. You're participating, right? You're actively involved. You're sharing your ideas. You know, you're not just standing back and being a wallflower and letting somebody else run the show, right? No. Sometimes you have to do that. But being present, you're there. You're engaged. Be creative and have fun. Now, that's the last thing I expected to see in an Army magazine. That's a fundamental tip of success. Be creative and have fun. Okay? But then it says, rigorous, realistic training is a critical part of soldiering. So, rigorous, realistic education, substitute that word, right, is a critical part of growing into a defined young adult. See how we kind of inserted that? How about number 4? So there's 3. You can do those 3, right? Number 4 is be connected. Are you all connected? Yeah, you're all connected. You're connected here today, I can tell. We're connected with a lot of things. Today we're connected with our flag, our country, with our community, right? With great leaders, with outstanding veterans who have served this country. Today we are all very connected. So we can do that. Always stay connected. We need each other. We need these relationships. And I can tell you, as veterans, we always needed somebody. We could never do it alone. The last one, be a steward. Okay? Be a steward. Be caretakers. Be caretakers of one another, of your resources, of your school, of your community. You know, us old-timers here, we look to you. You're the next generation. You're the next generation of teachers, administrators, carpenters, doctors, lawyers, business owners, and veterans. You are the next generation. We have a lot of interest in making sure that you adhere to these 5 tips so that you are successful. That make sense? Probably wasn't what you thought I was going to talk about today, huh? Yeah. So again, I've done a lot of things. I couldn't have done it without a lot of support. Couldn't have done it without adhering to some of these things myself. So I appreciate you taking an opportunity and time to listen to this. The last thing I want to do is something that I always hold dear, and that's the ability to salute. Did you notice when we did the pledge, I saluted them. Some of you up front, did you see that? Saluted. So as veterans, we have the opportunity, even though we don't serve, even though we're not in uniform, to salute the flag. Okay? So I always try to do that when I can. What I want to do here is ask you all, don't do it yet. I'll tell you what to do, and then we're all going to do it together. This is going to be the end of my presentation. So here's what we're going to do, okay? We're going to all stand up, not yet. Okay? And we're going to bring our arm up like this. Okay? To get here, I'm going to say, present arms. And you're going to salute, right? And then I'm going to say, order arms. And you're going to drop your salute. Slow up. Slow down, right? And after you come down, I want you to all say, thank you for your service to all these veterans here today. Can we do that? Yeah. Let's stand up. All right, you guys stay quiet now. You guys stay quiet. Guys stay back. Okay. Present arms. Order arms. Thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate all of you today. Yeah, that's how you get a standing ovation, just like that, right? Good job, Steve.
And Rose. Please be seated. Now, one of our best things we do is allow our veterans to stand and be recognized one more time, but we do it by their fight song for their various branches. This is called the Salute to America's Finest from the Kroc Center Band. United States Army. take care of. It's very important for our business. We celebrate Veterans Day. We also celebrate Memorial Day. And that is also some folks, we talk about service and sacrifice. There are folks that could not be here today who may have paid the ultimate sacrifice in giving their lives for our country and our freedoms that we have. And there is something that the military honors fallen veterans who sacrificed for our country. It's a song called Taft. It is fitting that we are standing and silent during Taft, the playing of Taft. If you would please stand and remain silent. Thank you. You may be seated. Kroc. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your excellent behavior today. We know this can be a long assembly, but it's such an important assembly that we say thank you and we honor these folks that gave of their time with us today. A number of things to wrap up. Want to thank our choir for their outstanding performance. How about another round of applause? Thank you, Major Francis and the Kroc Center Band. A nice round of applause for their outstanding. Mr. Carroll, the words were so appropriate today that he used. And fifth graders, you heard that word leadership from me many times. And I hope you were listening, because those are the qualities we're looking for in building leaders. You know, to be here, to be caring about others, and to be showing the example for others. Those were excellent, appropriate words. How about a nice round of applause for Mr. Carroll. And you still, to this day, are my favorite Browns fan friend. So I only have like one or two, so it's really rare. But and to our other veterans, parents, grandparents, whoever be here, thank you so much for attending. Now, the actual Veterans Day is this Friday on November 11th, as Mr. Carroll said. Armistice Day. So you'll be seeing a lot in the next couple of days to celebrate that day. And it's altogether fitting and proper that we celebrate even throughout the week and say thank you. What a great time for it to be. As I started with my opening remarks, it's very appropriate for Veterans Day to be near Election Day. It separates us from other places. It's very appropriate that Veterans Day is in November, the month of thanks. So what an outstanding job you all did today, honoring them. I'm sure they appreciate it. When we conclude, we're going to start dismissing our fifth grade students as the band. You want to take us out with a little music, Major Francis? So we're going to have a little music playing as our fifth grade teachers in the back start to dismiss. And if your grandparent or parent is here, you are welcome to stay. We will send you back to class later on, okay? So with that, thank you all for being here, and have a great rest of the day.
Watch out.